Hi again, and welcome back to another video from the StarCraft Brood War competition of this beautiful tournament, the Artificial Intelligence and Interactive Digital Entertainment Conference of 2018. This AI you are watching is called CherryPi, and it is the brainchild of Facebook. The Facebook team includes none other than Gabriel Seneyev, which is one of the old guns from well, way back when all this Brood AI thing was starting, and also includes a Protoss prodigy TSMU, and of course Dan Gant, which is a Gosu coder in its own right. So the Facebook team is pretty stacked, and I don't know who's on the Samsung team, because SAIDA is the Samsung AI for StarCraft Brood War. It's pretty good, and it has been on top of the student StarCraft AI tournament ladder for quite some time now. Couple of months, and in AI, Brood War AI, that's quite a long time. And CherryPi really burst on the scene last year and took the student StarCraft AI tournament by storm. On the AIIDE tournament last year, it did participate, but it was more of a test version, so it didn't really come into its own right. And now Samsung SAIDA is going to harass these workers a little bit with one unit, but as there is a sunken colony already, the damage potential for Zerg is quite alright, and Terran taking the opportunity to expand behind a bunker full of marines. And now the question is, what is Zerg going to do? And Zerg has upgraded one of its town halls, its main buildings, and that will give it access to more technology. And if we take a small peek, we can see the production tab in this beautiful open BW project by TSMU, and damn it, that was quite silly. Who's the other author? I don't know. I don't really want to forget this. That was quite silly of me. And what basically... oh, it's Im42. Hello. It's a bit of a nickname thing, but I don't know his real name. So TSMU and Im42 made this web version of StarCraft Brood War. You need the full game to run for all the graphics and stuff, but the engine is running in a web browser, and that's so very beautiful. So you can see in this overlay, which you normally don't have, that CherryPi is going for a lot of Mutalisks, and that is a quite a rather cheap, very mobile, early accessible flying unit. And somehow SAIDA has gotten wind of it and is building a lot of Goliaths, and if I'm not very much mistaken, the range upgrade for these Goliaths as well. So, as they say, it will now all come down to micro, and Zerg is going to hit the Terran base while not even all the mutas are there. And the air defenses are scrambling, although most of them are still standing around this bunker over here. I think with 3 of these Goliaths and the necessary turrets, SAIDA will be in a good position. So the question is, what now? And one of the skills that CherryPi has, it can macro, and that stands for macroeconomics. It can build a lot of bases and a lot of workers relatively quickly. It is an expert in balancing the production of units and more economic activities like here, and it's going for another base at the other end of the map. So here we go. SAIDA has got quite an army already, and if it's a hidden army supply, it's also to be noted that these Goliaths and this tank have a greater combat value than these very mobile but very fragile Zerg units. And the thing is that SAIDA will have an opportunity to make a push and try to do something about this Zerg containment, and I think that had better come rather soon. Because, well, this base over here and these workers are going to transfer, but they're going to take an awful long time getting there. And look at these Zerglings just keeping tabs on all the bases just to make sure that the enemy hasn't got a great economy. And Zerg is somewhat keeping up with army production, but again, these Mutalisks and these Zerglings, they are very fragile, and I think at this point that Terran has got a vastly superior army. And another base being taken by Zerg. So as a Terran, you can't let this go on for too long, because you've only got income of these 2 bases, And Zerg is keeping up with army supply, and although the army is weaker, the Terran still has to cross the distance to this base over here, and Zerg has all, wow, it's got hive technology, so you've got this main building of the Zerg, you've got to upgrade it once and twice, and if you upgrade it twice you get the hive, and then you can build all kinds of advanced buildings and advanced units. And here comes, oh no, it's only a small advanced guard of the Terran. Zerg has got the 4th base started and is also producing a large army. So it's just giving way to whatever Terran's throwing at it, just trying to keep Terran in its base, and Terran is building a magnificent army. If we look at the upgrades, they have got the +1 weapons, the +1 armors ready, and Zerg, although it's upgrading quite well as well, oh wow, Zerg is really, and that is why you don't let CherryPi do this kind of thing, because it will build so many units. And look at this nice huge concave. The Terran will have its work cut out for it once it moves out, if it ever is going to move out, because Zerg is going to be a bloody murdering machine in a very short while. The 4th base is operational, 1-2 workers have been transferred already, and here comes an Ultralisk. It's one of the most powerful land units in the game. It's got the armor upgrade, which means it will take a lot of, oh, here comes the Zerg, but it refrains from pushing in, and although a lot of these small Zerglings got killed, they are very cheap and easily replenished. So what these Ultralisks can do, they can lead the charge, absorb all the damage, and then these Zerglings, which will only do a small bit of damage a piece, because there are so many of them, their damage output potential as a group is enormous. So Zerg now with 4 bases. The worker count of Zerg is higher than that of Terran, and these armies are perfectly balanced. I'm going to speed it up just a tiny little notch. Terran trying to push out, and oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Zerg is swinging back its huge army, and Zerg, oh, that's nice, a burrowed Zergling. Zerg, what is it going to do? Because attacking right into this minefield with all these highly powerful Terran units is going to be very costly, although there are only a handful of tanks yet. There will be more tanks soon, and Terran, once it's got this huge army, as a Zerg, these units are very brave, and they're going to be cut off surely. No, but Zerg decides to run, and a lot of units are getting killed, and no new base yet for Zerg. So Zerg ought to take more bases now, but instead it is going to produce more units, and that is going to be very difficult. Ooh, that's a nice skill, that's an irradiate, so this green cloud will mean that the unit itself gets damaged, but also will damage the units it's touching. And you can see that here, these small units, they have got very little health, and they will get damaged quite a lot. Oh, and this is another upgrade for these cheap flying units. They can morph into these guardians, which do a lot of air-to-ground damage. And you can see that Zerg has got a great army, and no, still no other base. And finally these vultures have been caught. They're doing a tremendous amount of damage, because these Zerglings are not really good at fighting, but they've got them trapped, and they will slowly devour them. There you go, and now Terran is still in its own base, and there are a lot of units that can't even all make it down the ramp. And although the Terran army is greater than that of Zerg, Zerg is in a very good position, ought to take more bases, have more workers. But this Zerg army is huge, and with the onset of these guardians there will be a lot of air-to-ground damage. And here comes the Zerg. You can see these units have got an incredible firing range, and we've got 4 of them. There will be more soon, and they just do a lot of damage. And Terran is now winning. These units are very powerful, they have got good upgrades, and Zerg is running. And I don't know why Zerg is running, because if you run and are not fighting, you will lose a lot of units, and that can be quite costly, as you can see over here. Zerg's army supply is falling rapidly, and that is not good for Zerg. Terran is attacking on 2 fronts. Here comes a small train of Goliaths, and the main push is come from here. And Zerg is just not going to commit to fight, and its army is being thrown away needlessly. It's not even touching these units over here, only the static defenses are fighting at this point. Another base is being taken, but this entire group of units is being chased back by only 3 Terran units, so that's a major flaw in the Zerg reasoning. Zerg is throwing away a huge army, and now the economy is hurting as well. SAIDA, meanwhile, has mined out its main base, and the natural's getting low as well. But with this huge army in the Zerg main base, I think it's a foregone conclusion. Zerg just doesn't want to fight. The entire base is being wrecked, and these units are not doing anything about it. Although there is quite a lot of damage potential in... Oh, and now they are fighting, but you can see the amount of damage this Terran army is doing. And now Zerg ought to try and restart, but what can you do from this point? You've only got a 13 supply army, and the enemy has got a 140 almost, and SAIDA is not taking another base. It just banked all of its chances on this one attack. Zerg is trying to restart frantically, but is it going to be in time? I don't think it will be. It's got a very tiny army, and now the Terran hammer is going to fall, and it will fall heavily and crush anything in its path. So that, I think, was the game. Yep, there we go. Last base is discovered as well. SAIDA beating CherryPi. So thank you for watching this game. We'll be right back with the next one.